This is BC Rigger, and I'm rambling by the river. Keegan's running by the river. Stilly River, and if you look over my left shoulder, there's a large deciduous tree. It's a big leaf maple, and in the furthest west corner of the tree you'll see a nice eagle perched. Decided to join us. There's actually a couple more around. So anyways, you may see some eagles having a late breakfast while we ramble. I wanted to nudge to play with how we get where we're going, how we get where we say we want to go. So the path to get to the new earth, the path to get to freedom, the path to get out of the swamp. You know, you could, whatever your focus is, my focus is well, I'm already in the new earth, and I'm conscious of that, but you know, lock that in more and co-create that more. But the way to get there is walking on the path. And so I've heard people say, well, where the heck's the path? How do I get on it? And it's one of those things, you know, that's when you get it, it makes sense, and when you don't get it, it's really freaking annoying. But we are the path. The path is us. We make the path, we hold the path, we enlarge, enrich, invite others on the path with us. We block the path. So it's not only metaphoric, it's literal. And again, it goes back to that, you know, we're not small. People say, well, how can that be? How can, you know, this is happening and that's blocking me, and so-and-so's doing this to me, and these rules do that, and, you know, the rest of my family thinks I'm a nut job, and yeah, they don't talk to me. So, you have to let all of that go, because it's an inside job, and you can help others by loving them in absolute, without judgment, without reservations, and most important, by loving yourself with those very same things, because that's the path. And think of any quest in a book you've read, or any movie that you've seen, you know, that's around that, the mythical, the mystical, the, you know, the quest, the journey, following the hind, you know, all of that those are metaphors, and you can actually see the action and see the tangible, physical, you know, touchable reality around that. You can see that in your own world. But, you know, out there doesn't start first. It's not like you just landed on the planet and it starts first. It comes from within you. And I know for some, they are staunchly opposed to that, staunchly say, okay, well, that's nice for you, but I don't get it, and that doesn't work in my world. Until it does. Until they take that next step, wherever it is for them, and they're like, wow, oh, sure. How'd I get here? Wow, this is so different. And all of a sudden, in that moment, standing on the path where they are, in that moment, they get it. They grok it. It just is. And so kind of backing out how you got there, or that this is the path doesn't really matter, because they're there and they know it, and they keep moving forward and expanding the path and playing it. So to be helpful to others, who aren't there yet, or who don't see it yet, or are blocking themselves from it, when those that the light went on, literally and figuratively, and they see the path, any ways that you can share that, not selling, but just what your experience was. Was there a particular story or a little vignette here and there that you can help to just illustrate your path? That's all it is, because everyone else will find their own path. Guaranteed. Absolutely guaranteed. Because everyone is magnificent. So some examples of that. If something is happening and it's bad news, so let's say something in your life, is happening, and it's a scary situation because it's a health situation. I'm thinking of something that I do at work, and a situation that's come up, and you can choose the path of freaking out and worrying about it, and all sorts of scenarios. Not only for the being that is sick, but for the ramifications that has on you and the job and all that entails. Or you can completely love all in the situation. Love is a frequency, so you can do whatever you need to do to navigate, to stay in that frequency as fully and completely and widely and expansively as you possibly can. And in every moment that you do that, you lock more of that frequency in to the path that you're on, to the path that you're connected with the other being, with the other things in the situation. And it does matter, and it does make a big, huge difference. It can take something from, 90% mortality to moving on the path of getting better. And moving on the path, too, of other beings around becoming enlightened, letting light, allowing little bits of light to shine in as they walk along the path in conjunction with this. I have to kind of talk obliquely because of my constraints. But anyways, so in whatever it is that's going on with you in your world, or as you're looking at stuff going on, it's not so much about, I know that a number of people describe it, choosing your words carefully, choosing your thoughts carefully, choosing your steps on the path carefully. I don't hold it that way because there's too much for me. When I used to try to do that, there's too much of an energy of constriction. Oh my God, I'm going to get it wrong. Oh my God, oh no, what do I do? I stepped over here. And I thought, okay, this is just exhausting. And so, hence I always play on the path. And I can step off supposedly in the wrong energy just a bit. But since I am focused, and I do have my intention, and my intention, and my energy of what I intentionally give voice to in all of my being to create and to the direction I wish to move, then it's like I have little, different alert sensations out there that I can pick up on that, this direction or this step is taking you in a constricted frequency. We'll just say that as an example. And one of the interesting things is that there is much forward momentum. As long as you're not in the weeds in that direction, you're not wrestling in the mud, and you're not inviting everybody over for a big mud wrestling thing. But it's a step off because there's lots of integration, and it's a way to, flick some of that pre-existing mud off of you, so to say. Integrate things, get a different vantage point, and oftentimes a more expansive vantage point. Really lock in and own your different comfort levels, what you've said are your different comfort levels, what you've said are your confidence and knowing and certainty on different things. And that step in one direction may be just the perfect step because it proves all of that. It tests all of that. It allows you to examine things that are out of integrity with all of those things I just mentioned in that area and integrate them and let what is not in alignment go. And then from that vantage point, you can take, the next step, which gets you right in line with the expansive place you want to go. It's not linear. Not only is the energy that we're in not linear anymore in 3D, but how we function is not linear anymore. And so the path is you. That's, again, literal on many different levels. And if you think about it, that your whole body, your whole being, all of your bodies, mental, emotional, magnetic, etheric, physical, all of that is changing. And so the brain chemistry and the brain structure, just to take that as one example, that you came to the planet with is not the same structure you currently have in your brain. Everything is changing. So the linear mind and how you unfolded, decoded different thoughts, feelings, frequencies, structures, all of that is not the same that it was when you came to this planet. It's not the same that it was a year ago. It's not the same that it was the end of last year. Today is January 15th. Wait a couple days with the wolf full moon and the full lunar eclipse, and it absolutely, positively will not be the same that it is right now that I'm making this video and that you're watching it. So understanding that and playing with that in your whole path walking worldview lets you see that as never before, the path is not linear. And it's all frequency, it's all energy. And saying you don't know about that, you don't believe in it, that's hooey, whatever it is, okay, cool. That's absolutely everybody's individual choice to do that. It's terrific. But it doesn't change the fact that it's all energy and frequency. And we are fully stepping into our frequency bodies, our light bodies. And we're fully stepping into our organic human brain, which processes differently, and going beyond that configuration, that modeling, that whole way that we are put together, that we work, that we interact with ourselves and all others. That's rapidly changing as well. So play with how You feel into where you want to go, what you want to create, what your life looks like, what your outlook is, where you want to flow this year of 2019. And if it feels good, let go of I can't wait to. Let go of, oh, when X, Y, or Z happens, then I can be X, Y, or Z, or have X, Y, or Z, or feel X, Y, or Z. Let it all go. Right now, in this moment. Tune in to all of you. Take your brilliant body in your sparkly toes and step onto the path fully and take the next steps. It's all perfect and perfectly done, and it's really amazingly, fantastically, cosmically, deliciously fun. And we've got this. We've had this nailed for a long time. Why? How do I know that? How am I absolutely, positively certain of that? Because we're where we are right now. We're seeing what we see unfolding right now. And the sun is shining on all that we're creating and bringing forth. And all the amazing job that we're doing in unwinding and unbinding everything. It's spectacular. And so are you. You are absolutely sublimely beautiful. So stop resisting it. Go with it. Play with it. Be it. And shed that light everywhere. I love you.